Even without any games, the NBA world can still shock, delight, or disappoint fans and players with the high-profile Woj bomb in the offseason. Just remember last year when the entire landscape of the league was transformed with just a couple of trades and free agent signings. This year could be even wilder, since there isn't much cap space to go around. The best free agents will probably resign, and the draft is much more uncertain than ever. So any team looking for major upgrades can only get them via trade. Welcome to NBA Zone, and in today's video we'll be looking at the top trade rumors circulating around the 2020 NBA offseason. Could your favorite team land a star? Or maybe give up its franchise player and completely change direction? We will find out today. Before we do that though, make sure you're subscribed to us here at NBA Zone and that you have your notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on our latest videos. Now let's get started. Chris Paul. The rumor mill was spinning on a potential CP3 ever since he was traded to OKC for Westbrook. The trade made sense at the time. He looked like an aging PG on a huge contract, and that just didn't fit the team's timeline, since OKC looked like they were in full rebuild mode with a treasure trove of picks. There were some suitors, but nobody wanted to take the risk. Fast forward a couple of months, and the whole narrative has changed. Paul not only led one of the unlikeliest playoff runs in recent memory, but he also shed all of the question marks surrounding him and his value on a potential contender. It's all but certain that Paul will be traded to a new team this offseason, and there is no shortage of options after his stellar 2019-2020 campaign, but we'll just have to wait and see where he eventually ends up landing. The 76ers changing direction. Some people are saying that the process is dead, and the Sixers need to blow things up. The latter is a bit over-exaggerated, but moves need to be made since the team can't win a title. While every team in the league would love to get Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, the Sixers have said that they won't be breaking up their star duo yet. That might be a smokescreen, but we know that everyone else is on the table, and Al Horford seems to be the likeliest player to be traded this offseason. His albatross contracts makes any move difficult, but he still has plenty of value for his defense and veteran leadership. One player recently linked with the Sixers is Buddy Hield, and he seems like a great fit on paper. His stellar outside shooting would help patch up the team's most glaring hole, while Simmons and Embiid would help make up for Hield's defensive shortcomings. The Sixers need upgrades, and they will be active on the trade market, but how they play it will surely depend on who becomes the team's next head coach. Bradley Beal and the Wizards. The Washington Wizards are not a good basketball team, and John Wall's return won't change that too much. Right now, trading Bradley Beal after his career year is going to be their best shot at a quick rebuild they desperately need. Beal's trade is all but certain, but given the recent trades for Westbrook and Paul George, the Wizards will surely ask for, and probably get, a king's ransom in return. Expect the Wizards to opt for a package of picks and young players or assets that can be flipped further down the line. With 2021 shaping up to be a great free agent class, expiring contracts for clearing cap space will be at a premium, so hoarding them might be a good idea as well for the Wizards. They won't have a shortage of offers on the table, and if they play their cards right, their rebuild will be supercharged after the Beal trade. Davis Bertans and his laser accuracy from range are also highly coveted around the league, so he might also get flipped for some worthwhile assets. The Russell Westbrook question in Houston. With Mike D'Antoni leaving the bench following the team's disappointing second-round exit, the Rockets are in need of some major change. Looking at the film of the 2020 playoffs, one name immediately jumps out as one of the main reasons for much of their struggles: Russell Westbrook. The team gave up a ton of assets to acquire him just a year ago, and he has not lived up to expectations, despite occasional flashes of brilliance. That trade stings even more when you look at how CP3 has turned OKC around. Westbrook's inability to space the floor and questionable decision-making late in the game are a major contributor to the team's struggles. He can still play at a high level, but the Rockets won't be able to receive nearly as much value as they gave up for him, which puts Daryl Morey in a tough spot. Many people around the league believed his job would be in danger if he botched the initial trade for Westbrook, so his future with the team looks just as uncertain as Westbrook's. Giannis' decision. For a team with championship aspirations and a back-to-back MVP, the Bucks had a very disappointing season. As soon as their series against the Heat was over, everybody started asking the same thing: will Giannis stay with the team? He is eligible for a Supermax extension this offseason, and the Bucks are sure to offer it to him the minute free agency starts. If he doesn't sign it, expect absolute mayhem. Every single team that can put together even a half-decent offer will be blowing up the Bucks' phone with the offers. and they will have a tough choice. They can go all in one more time and hope their season goes well enough for Giannis to stay long term. However, that runs the risk of losing him for nothing once he becomes a free agent in 2021. Alternatively, they can trade him now while his value is at its peak. It will take a Godfather offer to trade for Giannis, and only a few teams in the league will be able to put something like that together. Giannis met with the team owner, and the team is committed to ensuring he stays. But if that Supermax offer gets rejected, we'll be in for a wild ride. The Warriors making a splash. Once Curry and Thompson come back from their injuries, the Warriors will once again be a force to reckon with in the West. Additionally, their sign and trade of Kevin Durant last year has put them in an interesting position. They got D'Angelo Russell, and they flipped him for Andrew Wiggins, and a pair of picks soon after. They don't necessarily need a wing that is primarily a scorer, like Wiggins is. What they do need is a mobile, athletic big man that can defend and score in the pick and roll. There has also been a lot of conflicting information regarding the upcoming draft, where the Warriors have the second overall pick. This looks like an attempt by the team to mask their true intentions, and Chomps has confirmed that trading the pick is more than likely to happen. A package built around the second overall pick and a talented young scorer like Wiggins can fetch a lot of value, and just maybe a star center that will fill the team's most glaring hole. Not to mention they can also flip the 2021 picks they got from Minnesota for additional assets. Either way, expect the Warriors to shake up the offseason in a big way. Buddy Hield. The previous Kings GM, Lede Davis, was very high on Hield's potential, but Hield ended up glued to the bench in many games under coach Luke Walton. His elite shooting regressed to about average, and his already shaky defense deteriorated to the point where he became unplayable. However, shooters will always be a hot commodity in the modern NBA, and maybe all Hield needs to regain his elite outside stroke is a change of scenery. A team that can use a floor spacer and make up for its defensive deficiencies may never again have such an opportunity to buy low on Hield as they do this offseason. Hield didn't hide his desire to get out of Sacramento, and the Kings should be happy to oblige as early as this offseason. A move to the Sixers seems likely, given the recent rumors, and we might even see some variation of a Hield for Horford swap take place between the two teams, given how their salaries next season aren't that far apart. Derrick Rose. There was a time where everybody in the NBA thought that Derrick Rose's career was over, and that he would never again be a quality NBA player. Rose eventually proved his doubters wrong, and his last two seasons have once again established him as a player capable of contributing on a high level. Could he be a contributor on a contender? The Lakers seemed to think so last season when they tried to orchestrate a trade for their veteran PG, which the Pistons ultimately denied. The latest rumors say that the Clippers are looking to acquire Rose in an effort to improve the roster after blowing a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference semis. Putting together an enticing package for Rose won't be easy. The Paul George trade emptied their chest of picks, and Detroit still has Rose in their plans, so it's not unrealistic to expect that some other team will be able to outbid the Clippers. That's it for today's video. Where do you think the players we mentioned today will end up? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know what kind of package could your favorite team put together for these players. Also, if you enjoy content like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.